Welcome. We are pleased with your presence in our classroom.
Today we're going to show you the effects that would happen if we put our CPAs in the online format. Some of the things included are, it would give us positive press.
We would model good resource conservation for the community.
We would become 21st century learners.
We would save the district $20,000 each year. That's a lot of money.
Wow. With the money we save, we can buy new technology for schools in need. We hope you enjoy it.
$20,000, Randy. Oh,
That's a lot of money.
it is a lot.
Can you imagine the headlines now?
Round Rock ISDF paperless benchmarks.
Paperless assessments will give us good press. Good press is a sign that we're closer to 21st century learning.
We'd be the first district in an area to have paperless assessments. Schools will soon follow our path to online benchmarks.
Roundup would be a model for other districts who have technology and are looking for ways to utilize it.
We would even be a popular subject in education. Round Rock ISD would move on to world class.
Districts from all over would want to upgrade to world class. Our ISD would lead other schools into the future of assessments. If we put our benchmarks online, we would have good press and be known all over. We would be a model for other schools who are following our path into world class learning.
Kids who have paperless assessments are very happy and encouraged with this type of learning. If this keeps up, it could lead to
If we be the first district to have online benchmarks, we could have a lot of publicity and fame.
If you had to do boring paper benchmarks all the time, wouldn't you get bored? Well, actually, you'd get more than bored. You'd be moaning and groaning and sometimes sleeping. If this keeps up, this could lead to
Students are moving to schools with world-class learning.
we could be the district to have 21st century education. We would be the district known to go from first class to world class.
Not only does putting benchmarks online give us good publicity, but it also models resource conservation. We use these tests for 4 hours and then bye-bye.
We have a newspaper headline, so you may take a second to read it.
We have prepared an infographic to show you what would happen if we moved our CPAs online. As you can see down here, this koala is homeless because of deforestation.
As you can see, there are 5 pros and only 1 con. If you've already purchased the Eduphoria software, all you would need to do is work a little bit harder.
Now for the facts. Every year, 92,426 pounds of carbon dioxide is released into the air just because of CBAs.
31,712 pounds of solid waste is wasted because of CPA production nearly every year.
377,104 gallons of water are used just to print the CBAs.
62 tons of wood are used just to make the CBA's paper.
46 pounds of hazardous air pollutants, or HAP, is released into the air just to make CPAs.
The CPAs use 33,011 pounds of paper each year.
440 pounds of sulfur dioxide, or SO2, is used to meet the CBA's paper needs.
The district uses 366 million BTUs, or 107,264,011.62 watts of energy just for CBAs.
And finally, our last good publicity reason, 21st century assessments.
While in high school, students recently took stock on the computer. Wouldn't it be fair if us elementary school students could prepare for that moment?
At the beginning of the year, all we had were boring math worksheets, which didn't help us learn at all. Now we have new programs like Lens-Based Thinking and How-To.
These programs assess our abilities and help us learn.
Here's a video about what Miss Norwood's 5th grade class thinks about computer utilization
And how technology makes learning easier.
Is technology important to the classroom?
Yes.
Why?
Because since we get one-on-one access with the computers, some people right now we're doing a passion project where we all get a different project, and if we had the computers, we'd have to wait for people who are all doing the same project. And we have each different project, and those computers help us, and they're much faster loading than the other computers and all that stuff.
And even if you can't read or something, if you have trouble reading, you can use online reader.
Well,
How often do you use technology?
every day,
7 hours and 7 hours for it.
24/7.
In next gen class, would you like to be next gen student again?
Definitely. There's just so many opportunities, and being an next-gen student is really awesome. You get to do many things on the tablet. You get to interact with your classmates. You have way more experiences than other students have because you always have access. It's not limited. So, in the grade, they have 2 tablet cards, and there's 4 classes splitting them, so they're constantly they go out into the common area and leave their tablet. But for us, we just can look into our tablet card, find our number, get our own personalized tablet out, and use it whenever.
How do you feel about students who do not have as much access to technology in their schools?
I think technology is very beneficial for learning, and it would be much better if every student had the access that we have had this year.
How do you feel about students who don't have as much access to technology in their schools? I feel bad for them,
Yeah, I feel
honestly.
sad. I go into the bus, people are like, oh, you're so lucky because you have all these tablets. But really, it can actually be a lot harder sometimes. They think
Yeah, we have to
easy.
type long.
Yeah, they think
And
we
we
have
have
it
to
easy.
do Toshiba.
Yeah, Toshiba was a very interesting project that we did where we made pieces of technology and sent them in to a competition. That required a lot of work. So don't think that we have it easy because it's actually
And
pretty
we didn't
hard.
get anything.
Yeah, but it's a fun experience. So yeah, I do feel bad for other students.
As Dr. Flores always says, first class to world class. So bye-bye paper assessments, hello 21st century testing.
I'm so proud to be here. It's so honored.
Technology access is not equal across the district. Technology access is not equal across the district.
With the national needs, we have been researching how much technology needs to be.
The district spends money.
We interviewed with Miss Bailey at cafeteria to see if they have enough technology for learning. Here are some of the results.
What are the results to your school survey about technology?
The results to our survey indicate that we definitely need more, that our students and teachers are willing to do a lot more with technology, but we're very limited in what we have. For our campus right now, we totally have about 6 laptop cards.
If your school had more technology, how would you use it?
Oh, we would do so much. We would do Google Hangouts. We would do, certainly use Google Drive to do more collaboration. We would use Google Classroom a whole lot more if we had it. Our students would be able to do a lot more research within the classroom if we had more technology. We would have an after-school coding class if we had more working technology on our campus. So there's a lot we could do with the technology that we currently have, but if we had more, we would definitely do a lot more with it.
When your school uses technology, what do they use it for?
We have a lot of online programs. We have IXL Math, we have iStation, we have Think Through Math. Some of our students use technology for research. So we use it to access different software programs that we have.
Do you think your school has enough technology to support learning?
No, I don't. I don't think that we have enough technology to support learning, but I think that all schools find themselves in the situation in that we're in an era in time where technology is so important and it's a part of our daily lives.
How recently does your school use technology?
How recently does it, or how often?
How recently?
Every day. I'm pretty sure if I walk into classrooms right now that there will be students using technology in their classrooms. We also have a computer lab, and so students have an opportunity to go to the computer lab weekly.
The district spends money on paper assessments when they would be saving resources and money by putting our assessments done online.
We have been gathering information about how much technology each elementary school has.
On the first graph, have you noticed that Joyville barely has half of the laptops that Harrington has? On the second graph, have you noticed that Robertson may look like it has a lot of laptops, but it looks like a joke next to England, which has 318 laptops.
How would you feel if every day of your school year was reading textbooks and answering questions? We need to make education more engaging and fun. We can only do that if you purchase technology for schools who don't have enough to support learning. Together with your help, we can put smiles on kids' faces. So now you've learned about unequal access to technology across the district and the good publicity we would have if we put our CBAs online. Now we'll tell you about how much money we could save and what we could spend it on. First, I'll tell you we can save $20,000 if we put our CBAs online. That's right, folks, $20,000. What shall we spend it on? I'll give you 2 examples. One, we could buy Lego robotics kits. Those could help kids learn to code, collaborate with teammates, and be more creative with what they build. We could also buy desktops to help kids learn and explore new things that they couldn't do on regular pieces of paper. Are you going to help us become a world-class district? First class to world class.
So now you've learned about the little things we could buy. I'll show you the even cooler things we could buy. First of all, we could buy Chromebooks. Chromebooks would let you do cool sites like IXL, Think Through Math, and Educated. You can also record videos and take pictures if you want to take an interview with your teacher, or if your teacher assigns you to take a picture of something. You can also, the only disadvantage to the Chromebook is you can only install apps, and it only works on Chrome.
If you have a laptop, you can create PowerPoint, infographic, and more things. You could do a lot of code that helps kids get better at programming. You can do learning links such as IXL and Think Through Math. We could search out what we don't know at home too.
Now that you've learned about different technologies about laptops, it's time to go on to iPod Touches. We could buy 100 iPod Touches with that $20,000. This is an opportunity for kids 5th and down to learn They can download learning apps such as Google Drive, like iStation, Think Through Math, and other learning apps that are out there. They can take pictures if a teacher assigned them to take a picture of a certain like shape or animal or something like that, or they can take pictures on a virtual scavenger hunt. It fits perfectly in their hand size and our hand size, so they can handle it good. They can access their classwork by downloading Google Classroom, and if a teacher assigned them to do a test or a quiz on one of the learning websites, you could do your work. They can FaceTime other classrooms and text other classrooms, like they could like message and like get around to them to other districts, other classrooms, and other schools. They can carry it in their pocket whenever they want, and they can take pictures and do whatever they want when they have.
The Raspberry Pi is a chip that you use to build with a computer, and with it you can build motorized machines that, but on paper you can only draw them out, but on paper it doesn't really work. It's kind of like makerspace. We could buy 1,000 microphones for the district,
for the desktops that don't, all across the district that don't have microphones built in because only laptops. We could do Vokies for kids who can't read that well or maybe can't see well, and we could also use Windows like Movie Maker. We could do Google Chats or Google Hangouts, and we could do FaceTime. In fact, we used a microphone to do the Miss Bailey interview earlier in the Unequal Access group.
Okay, we've gathered some data of the things we could buy. We could buy 48 Chromebooks.
We could buy 24 laptops. We could buy 24 Dell desktops.
We could buy 24 touchscreen Chromebooks.
We could buy 300 Raspberry Pis. We could buy 1,000 microphones.
And we could buy 100 iPod Touches. If you need any more information, there's some websites that you can click to get more info. Hope you liked the presentation. Thank you for coming.
So we have some friends up here at the front. If you have any questions about the information that we shared, they're ready to answer any questions you may have.
Well, I have a question. How impressive it is that you're presenting all this information. And wow, you've done a lot of collecting of data. So it was really impressive at the beginning when you talked about how much waste we produced by putting our benchmarks on paper. Tell me about how you went about finding those numbers that you shared with us about the calculations and the numbers for determining how much waste and how much water and all those things that you shared with us. How did you figure that out?
Well, our teacher found this website called Paper Calculator where you can enter the number of pounds, tons, or metric tons of paper that has been used, and then the percentage that has been recycled, and then it will calculate all those things for you.
Wow, so lots of measurement. Yeah.
I have a question. I heard in your presentation a mention of where you interviewed Miss Bailey at Caraway, and also I heard Robertson mention a couple other schools. So we have 34 elementary schools in the district, and this is one of our best, obviously. So why do y'all care about other elementary? I mean, why are you not just focused on getting things for your school or making things better here? Why do you care about all the other elementary schools?
Because our group was working on unequal access, and so we researched all of the other schools, and we looked and we compared schools who had a lot of technology to schools who don't have as much access, because we are trying to convert our benchmarks to a model.
But why is it important to you what anybody else has when you have an amazing school here? Why wouldn't you just be getting stuff for yourself?
Because we think it is unfair that they don't have enough, and some schools might not even have enough to even like support learning.
Yeah.
And some schools need laptops in order to support learning.
Hey, good morning. I have a question. Y'all look so confident and poised up there. Y'all did a great job. And it's obviously you put a lot of time into this. I'm curious how much time you spent from the very beginning of starting your project to today.
Since November, we have a chart over there of how much paper we saved in November. We started actually with a PBL on electricity or energy, and a student suggested about paper. So we tried to save as much paper as we could by not printing out those tests and putting them on Google Classroom or somewhere else. And then the student said, when we got our CBAs, and then the student said, we just wasted all that paper that we just saved, and then we wanted to try to do this project.
Very neat. So several months you've been working on it, right?
So I've got a statement and then a question. My statement is that your presentation is very timely, and as the superintendent, the people that are with you right here today are the people that can actually impact that themselves. Mr. Stotts, would you please stand? He's the tallest chief financial officer in the state of Texas, but he's also the chief financial officer for the district. So anything that can save money is something that he's always interested in. So what you've been able to provide today is something for us to consider. Then you have Ms. Robin Gesh. Ms. Robin Gesh, would you please stand? Ms. Robin Gesh is the person who oversees all the teaching and learning, which means the benchmarks and the CBAs all come from her office. So if we're going to go more paperless, that is a suggestion that she can actually say, how can we make that happen? And then, Dr. Presley, would you please stand? Dr. Presley is actually the chief of schools, which means he's the principal of the principals, and he actually is the chief of schools and innovation. So the three people that are a part of this district, thank you, Dr. Presley, the three people that are here with me, actually, everything you've said has some tie-in to what they do when they go back to their desk. You see, so very, very good opportunity for us to learn from you, so thank you so much for that. The reason why I was late, I feel compelled to tell you, is because tonight is a board meeting. Actions like this, if we do go back to a paperless environment, would be requiring some board action to adopt or create and purchase some items. So the board in itself, that's a meeting tonight. Obviously, we're not going to discuss this topic tonight, but down for future, you need to know that's how that can work as well. But my question now is this, the applicability. So you do this here, you've been looking at how the district can do an improvement in instruction and things like that, but has this had an impact for you in your own home and in your own environment in which you live, and how, if so? That's a long question. So how have you applied this with something at home?
Well, I used to go home and I like to print a lot of things like for homework or stuff, but I just did it online and sent it to my teachers.
Right. Okay. Anybody else?
How have our assignments changed? I think it was, Janelle, were you talking about in your part of the presentation how our work has changed in the classroom? Can you share some of that with them?
At the beginning, all we had were these form worksheets, and they're on paper, and they didn't help us learn at all. And now we have programs like, new programs that help us learn a lot, like educating text basically.
Wow. Very well. What about recycling? Do you recycle at home? Any paper products that are recyclable?
Definitely.
Good. That's a given now, right? It's not a given for us because we're very old. And very old, sometimes we have to reacclimate to what you guys are already doing. Some of us are older than others. He's a little older than me. But nonetheless, you have questions for us. I mean, you guys have now, you have central office, you have the Round Rock School District. And so thank you for being concerned about the entire district, because that's what we do. We're concerned with the entire district. So when you talk about equal access, that's pretty awesome. I can go tell my board that there's a fourth grade student who's advocating equal access. And what's your name?
Riley.
And I'll say Riley's advocating equal access. I can put a face and a name to that. So very well done. Any questions of us? I mean, from did he play basketball to whatever you want to ask. Because I know you want to ask questions of us. Any questions?
Is that what you said?
Well,
I did. The first question I usually get asked is, how tall are you? So anybody know, anybody guess how tall I am?
6 feet.
6 what?
6'8".
6'8". How did you guess that?
Estimation was
Did we talk in the hallway before I came in here? You're absolutely right. 6'8". How far away from 7 foot is 6'8"?
4 inches.
4 inches, I heard. Good job. All right. And yes, I did play basketball.
Yeah,
tell him where you played.
I bet he can dunk.
He used to actually dunk with 2 balls at the same time. That was a long time ago. Yeah. One in each hand, right. Yeah, I played at what used to be Texas A&I University. It's down in Kingsville. Anybody know where Corpus Christi is? Yeah. Kingsville is real close to Corpus Christi, so it's about a 3.5-hour drive from here. Thank y'all for letting me be here today.
That's a great question.
Suman, did you have a question? Need you to do that? I think we're a little starstruck right now. We've been talking about y'all coming for quite some time now.
Well, you know, yesterday we were, students, we were at a presentation that was made to, you guys are presenting to us. Yesterday we had Round Rock High School students presenting to a company. And that company was Build a Sign, and it was our graphic artist in our print shop at Round Rock High School. And so what I'm sharing with you is that what you're learning to communicate and to present is a skill that is so, so important. You know how many opportunities I had to do this when I was in 4th grade? 0. And now I'm not a very good presenter. And I wish I were, and I wish I were a better public speaker. So the opportunities that you have, all of you, to address this topic has provided you with some assurance that later on in life you're going to be doing that. You're going to be communicating as whatever job you do. So.
And I want to add to that. Last week, Dr. Flores and I were out at Apple headquarters in California, in Cupertino. Anybody ever heard of Cupertino? That's where the Apple headquarters are. And we were hearing some of the top executives from Apple. They were doing an education briefing. So there were some other school folks out there from Texas too. And that was on top of what Dr. Flores said. When they have applicants, because they get some of the top applicants, like when you go to college someday and you come out, you'll be some of the top applicants looking for great jobs, making lots of money. And they said some of their top applicants were super smart. They had the best scores, the highest everything, but they didn't hire them. You know why? Because they didn't communicate well. And so you got to keep a balance, because you guys are all super smart and you present yourself well, but you got to, as you continue to learn new things in middle school and high school, and you move on through in college, you got to always remember you've got to be able to work with other people and collaborate and communicate. And obviously in this class that's happened in a big way this year. So remember that part, because the best companies in the world would love to hire you someday when you get your college degrees. But if you're super smart, but you have to be super smart by yourself because you can't get along or collaborate or work as a team, they're not really interested in you. And that was, and they have some amazing people there at Apple. So.
I can see some future here. You know, Dell is right down the street from us here in Round Rock. So, in fact, next week we will have Dell, students presenting to Dell from Cedar Ridge High School, presenting what a library of the future should look like. And that library of the future will be part of the library design for elementary school number 34 and middle school 11, which middle school 11, some of you will be there. Most of you will be in middle school 11. It hadn't even been built yet, but it's going to have a library for the future. So you'll be there by your 7th grade year. So these are things that, again, the applicability of what you're saying and doing, and for us to look at that, I just the other day in my office, I was going through and I tried as much as possible to put in our recyclable can and waste can, and I can tell you, I was appalled by just the amount of paper that I get. So we do need to make a concerted effort, and as a result, Dr. Presley is an innovation. We're going to do what's called board documents for the whole board, because sometimes the board documents are about 452 pages for 7 board members and the superintendent and his team. But we're going to go through board documents, so we're already doing some of these things that you're asking us to do. So thank y'all so much, and I always love coming to the schools, and I always love coming to Elsa England, because y'all always make me think as the superintendent. I leave having to think, what can we be better to be first class to world class? So thank y'all for picking that theme up. You guys are the why of what we do, so it makes us better. Let's give your teacher a round of applause, too.